Welcome back to the NASCAR The Game 2013 Robby Gordon season mode. Today we head off into another mile and a half at Kansas, coming off of the last mile and a half race we had at Texas. Obviously, it's looking like a bit of a one-sided season. 7 races, I got 6 wins. I finally got a pole last time out at Texas. Didn't even think I'd get one this whole season. Not quite the pole driver. I like to show up for the race. But from there, Matt Kenseth set second in points. He's been Mr. Consistency outside of myself. 5 top 10s in 7 races. Martin Truex Jr. third in points. Casey Mears sets fourth in the chase grid. Paul Menard, JPM up here. Rocket Man, Stenhouse Jr., Greg Biffle, Dennis, the actual 2013 champion Jimmie Johnson sets 11th, and Carl Edwards currently rounds out the chase grid. And someone brought up a very good point in the last NASCAR The Game 2013 video in the comments, that David Reagan is still eligible, obviously, for the wild card spots, because back in this era of the chase, there was 2 wild card spots available for winners, kind of the inception of what became Win and You're In for the now modern playoff system. But currently he's still eligible for that. Right now, that's not much of a topic of discussion because we're still way out from race number 26. But shout out currently to Travis Pastrana, setting 14th in points. As if we didn't already have enough great point stories. My favorite probably being Casey Mears all the way up here. But Travis, just outside the chase grid right now. So anyway, today we head off to Kansas Speedway. One of my actual favorite tracks in this game. It reminds me a lot of just kind of a scaled-down auto club. You can get right up by the wall. You're kind of flirting with that Reddick line the whole time, and it's a fun experience. I just like racetracks that are fast, require some handling and talent to get around. You can get right up by the wall. It just fits my driving style.
Now's a good time to get in a few laps and see how the cars are running before qualifying.
As you could tell by my stats, this racetrack I've already got a great handle for, and let me tell you why. I got this preset setup that I made, that I just named Kansas, very original, not the band, and that's what I'm going to apply for this race. Essentially, it's just some knockdown air pressures. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to sock an extra PSI into the right side tires. But from there, I'd say this setup is pretty much perfect for race conditions. Now, this setup ain't good enough for a pole run, but I'm going to tell you, it's definitely good enough for a race win, so let's get straight into qualifying. I do not need any practice laps on a mile and a half. I might take some at Kentucky, but beyond that, I think I'm fine.
Let's get a good solid run today, bud. No unnecessary risk. Just drive it like you know you can.
I don't think we're going to have a pole run, and I'm also going to adhere to the same strategy I had at Texas, where I'm only going to go after 1 lap, because after the first lap, the tire's going to be dead. Got 1 chance. Second lap, I'm just going to try not to wreck this car. And I'm going to try to go for, somewhere in the top 10 starting position, but I don't think we have the pole on the mind for this one. By the way, even though Kansas has reduced banking from Texas, you can still almost go full throttle all the way through there. Had to burp it just a little bit, but I was almost fully committed.
We know how important it is to get a good starting spot here. It's going to make all the difference.
There we go, committed to the throttle. There we go, going to try to cut across the tri-oval, coming to the line. And this is our 1 good enough lap, 10th.
Gotta try to improve that first lap.
I said I want a top 10 starting position. I went and got myself one. I'm going to see if I can maybe better it this time, but the odds of me doing that are extremely low. Once you throw down 1 good lap, that's pretty much it for the tires. You can see I'm already starting to drop off about 3/10, so the strategy works of just commit for 1 lap. I was just seeing what I could do there.
Just like we talked about.
Run it right in the wall, but
Top 10 grid position. Good, strong qualifying.
yeah, that's all we really need. Honestly, I truly believe that qualifying is just to qualify your way into the race, and if you have a spot in the race, figure it out once you're in the race. I'm not very big into qualifying unless it's a track that you desperately need to start up front. The only one that really comes to mind is Monaco in Formula One. That place, yeah, qualifying is very important, but at an oval like this, Kansas, you just get right up by the wall and let her rip. Anyway, pole sitter, Brad Keselowski, Jimmie Johnson second. Once again, the qualifying results make quite a bit of sense. Travis Pastrana, 19th position. Yeah, pretty tame in qualifying. All that's going to change once we get into this race.
Crowd's fired up. Let's give them a great show.
Well, I should mention, I'm not going to adjust the setup any from what I had. I actually qualified with my race setup, so theoretically I could have trimmed it out a little bit more, put more tape on, drop those air pressures to see if I could maybe set on the pole or improve on, what was likely going to be a top 10 run, but I just didn't see the purpose in it. I wanted those 2 laps just to get a feel of my race setup, so I'm going to begin this race with the same setup you saw, and Mike Joy, take it away from here.
Welcome to America's Heartland for Fox Sports coverage of the STP 400 at Kansas Speedway. I'm Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip.
Mike, a very entertaining racetrack to come to. A lot of things in the area right here around the racetrack to go and do. And I tell you the thing that the drivers have got to pay attention to, those big cracks in the racetrack with the dark sealer. You'll see them. They really upset your race car. You got to be aware of those.
Kansas is a 1.5 mile track, but it's no cookie cutter. It has its own unique challenges. Out here in the Great Plains, they love their stock car racing. Big crowd on hand for today's running. Let's find out who's best in the Midwest.
And like I was saying, I really enjoy this racetrack, especially as it is now, after it was reconfigured and progressively banked and all that. The place really does race great.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go really fast racing today, boys and girls.
I saw the game stutter right there. Also giving me the wrong way thing. All right, so lap 1. Inside line already checking up.
Car 2 back. Car 2 back.
Brad Keselowski right up towards the front of the field, just slammed the door on somebody. I think that might have been
Still inside.
Kyle Busch. Gonna sail it off into there.
Stay up top, you're good right
Get to the outside of that 56 car.
Top 5, top 5.
And the door really closed up right there. I'm up to 4th already.
Way to go, buddy.
I don't know how I said, well, I didn't quite set the fastest lap, but I had it for about 1 second.
Nice pass, man. Keep working. Low side.
I thought for a second there Kyle was going to get loose and slide up into me, which
Car inside you.
is kind of what happened. I destroyed Tony, which is okay going off of how we got into each other at Texas. I didn't wreck it too bad. I probably should have gave Kyle more room. But I guess Greg Biffle also wrecked in that. Pretty much a 4-car accident already. I'm going to take the liberty to pit
Road will be open this time.
because why not? We've ran 2 laps. It's like, what, $2,000 per tire or something now? So we're going to waste a bunch of money changing all 4 after the first lap. We're in dead last. But we have a good car. And when have I ever done a race without making myself look stupid to begin with? It's like the intelligence meter gets higher as the race progresses and the pressure increases.
The crew's on the wall.
At the beginning of the race, you have the time and the liberty to screw yourself over at least 3 times before you start to get into the nitty-gritty of the finish and you have to start planning your strategies. Then you got to start paying attention. Although this will be fun because now it's kind of a last to first challenge, and I will be even more reflecting my point earlier about how starting position doesn't matter because we're going to restart on like lap 4 and I'm dead last. So the leader is still Keselowski over Johnson. I obviously pitted, and I'm going to restart dead last with maybe a lap or 2 fresher tires in the field, but pretty much just going to have to plow our way straight through this field. I don't even think there's a preferred line. Go where they ain't at this point. At least I kicked Tony back here with me and Greg Biffle. Got some fast cars to work with. As if this is a plate track where you can work with people.
Gotta go get it.
All right, so there goes the field checking up.
First is leading by 3 seconds.
BK Cars trying to close the door.
3 wide.
5 wide or something.
3 wide, 2 outside.
Okay, Danica.
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
Oh, okay, that was probably my fault. As is this. But hey, I didn't wreck. And that's all that really matters. Yeah. That was actually really bad. Front end of the 10 car got way off the ground there. You can see the safer barrier flex. I'm not pitting this time. I'm already up to 31st, though. And I think I strong-armed a couple cars to pit road, including 2 Roush cars for no reason, Scott Speed, Menard, and Rudiman. Very nice.
Careful on the restart, be patient. Don't pass
So
on
we're
the
already up to
inside.
27th. So a very good net gain. Overall, we still have a good car. That's the amazing part. Is I've involved myself in 2 wrecks in 6 laps. Dave Blaney almost going to start a 3rd. But I'm still pretty comfortable with the way this car is.
3 wide, 2 high.
I also learned from the run-in with Danica not to take the bottom,
1 up top.
because that I don't think is ever going to work. As evident by right now, where if I would have taken the bottom, I would have rammed Kurt Busch as hard as physically possible. And that was, again, a very tight
Right's clear.
space to fill. Look at Austin Dillon in his part-time rookie season, still excelling.
Got your door on the bottom. Low side's clear.
Wow, that hole closed up quick again. I'm going 4 wide. I didn't learn from the first one.
Looking low.
I literally did the same thing again, just missing the big one.
4 wide. Car outside. Got your door.
Okay, everybody survived.
3 wide. 3 wide. You're in the middle.
Guess that makes that one a better exchange.
Clear.
Man, David Reagan doing a good job here as well. Going after that chase spot. Yeah, there we go. Going 3 wide and a 3. Better than 4 wide.
Stay down.
Now we're 4 wide.
Side. Clear.
Okay, I settled that.
Watch your outside. Whoa, don't let her get away.
Oh, boy, that was a
First is leading by 3 seconds.
sheer miracle.
Car up top, 1 back. Looking high.
We're still not dead.
Keep it steady. Right side.
I don't know how Jeff Gordon saved that one. But props to him. I don't even think he lost any momentum. Ooh, Clinton Boyer getting up into the wall. Still wiggling down the straightaway. Jump to the outside. I mean, you can't say I wasn't there.
1 inside.
Yeah, we're doing bump drafting. We're doing this.
Inside.
All right, get me out of this mosh pit. Clint, keep it down there. There we go.
Inside.
Wow, that worked.
Nice lap. Good
And it's still the fastest lap. So yeah, I forgot to mention in the heat of the moment that somebody pitted,
job. Great, man.
and I missed who that was. I'm going to start doing the whole clutch and coast thing so that I can make it to halfway. Then again, I'm on a bit of an alt fuel strategy by a couple laps because, you know, I pitted on lap 2. But with all the cautions and everything, I should be able to just pit at like lap 26, somewhere right around there. Try to split the race dead in half, and I should be fine. Back up to Kyle Busch. He's running currently in 10th. And I'll soon be there as well. Look at Marcos. Got real wiggly. So did Kyle.
On the driver in front. Way to go, buddy.
A little bit of a door slam. Hello. And now we're breaking our way to the top
Inside your
10.
door. Keep high. Keep high.
Whoa, man, Reddick line.
Got a car low.
You see
Clear on
the number
left
9
side.
car just sliding it out all the way through the corner. I see he wanted the high line as well. That's why we're doing the full-on crossover.
Looking really good, buddy.
Love doing them. Here we go.
Way
Got
to
a
go.
run on
Keep it
Casey
going.
Kane. Slide job.
Car outside you. High side's clear.
There it is.
First, 2 seconds ahead.
Textbook multi-groove mile-and-a-half racing going on.
Car 1 back.
Love it.
He's still on you.
Got to check out that right front tire, see how the wear's going. At about halfway through the run, I'm pretty satisfied with it. There we go, get up
Side.
on that outside of the 22. Drag him back just a little bit. Love the momentum game you see you can play on multi-groove mile-and-a-halves like this. Really quite excited, mainly for the championship race at Homestead. one of my favorite tracks as well. I love fast tracks that take talent to lap. Auto Club, Homestead, Darlington, Charlotte, Kansas, places like that. It's nothing against any other racetrack. It's just that's my personal favorite. It's very, very rewarding when you get a car to hook up and really eat at a racetrack like this. Can't really say there's a type of racing that I don't like to do. You know, when it comes to a stock car, any type of racetrack discipline, there's no real track that I don't like. There's just ones I like a lot more. When it comes to a driving perspective, mainly because it's so alien to me, you know, I don't have much experience with doing sims of it and, you know, games, what have you. Dale Jr. pulling his slide right up in front of me, but I don't have a lot of video game experience with, you know, single-seaters. So, like the F1 games, I'm still very awkward in. I'm just kind of learning that stuff recently, so I'm kind of going in with, like, if I were to do an F1 playthrough, which I dabbled in maybe doing an F1 2022 season, I'm like watching Jimmy Johnson race an IndyCar on a road course. It's not really that entertaining unless you want to see somebody wreck a lot of stuff that's expensive. So, when it comes to least favorite type of vehicle to drive, from my perspective, it'd have to be, you know, things like single-seaters, whether those be Indy cars or Formula One cars or any style of open-wheel vehicle other than a wheel and modified. Just races really alien to me, and that's just due to a sheer lack of experience. But the learning curve's massive. And while I'm not ranting, but rambling rather, I've already caught the leader. A little bit of a fun bump right there.
Inside.
But while mumbling about random crap that doesn't pertain to the subject, we are now engaged in a battle for the lead. Very nice. And it's multi-groove, too. It's showing off the speed on the bottom and the top. But right there, we got the point. We are out front at Kansas on lap 21. And I'm going to try to run this thing as long as I can, actually, because I bet the AIs will wreck when trying to pit. So I probably need to counteract that by running out this stint as long as I can. Now's probably when the race gets a little bit boring for the viewer. Still enjoyable for me, though, because I love running this type of racetrack, getting up by the wall and everything, but we are probably just going to skate away from second place from here on out, unless I really, really screw up. But with no cars around me, the odds of me screwing up lessen by quite a bit, probably at least tenfold. But that still takes me from a 1,000% chance to 100% chance of screwing up. You see we got a car on pit road. That actually opens up the pit window for all these people. We might see a whole lot more coming down soon as I Reddick the outside wall. But I didn't hit it too hard. See, we got a lot more cars hitting the pits. A lot. Okay, then. If Truex pits, then I'm probably just going to pit lap 26 and just get my stop over with instead of going the, run long strategy. But obviously, everybody who's pitting now is going for a short pit, and track position is their whole game with what they're doing. I think that's Truex pitting. Gonna do one more lap after this one, and I'm gonna pit on lap 26. David Reagan takes over second for the moment. Take all them shots right now. It's not gonna last very long. It's a time-sensitive matter.
Car in front's heading to the pit.
And all right, I think pretty much everybody's already pitted. I've never done a green flag pit stop here, so this ought to be fun. And we're coming down this time. This is either going to look amazing or I'm going to wreck. Fingers crossed. I'm not sure which one you're picking.
Clear left side.
All right, here we go.
Watch your inside. We don't need a black flag for speeding. Watch those dials. We've got to come get fuel.
I made it.
So we might as well
I might have downshifted in the reverse just to slow the engine down, but I sure made it. Didn't speed. Probably ripped the transmission out of the car, but I didn't speed. Matt Kenseth just set the fastest lap.
Give me a nice smooth
He's our
stop
main
here,
championship competition. He's trying to put it on us, put the pressure on us. I need our Dodge pit crew to not falter under the pressure. This is a quick race. I've only been recording for 16 minutes. We are over halfway
Great job,
complete.
guys. Good job. In and out. It's all you now,
All right.
buddy. Okay, it's time to push that pace now, buddy. Stay focused. We can do this.
I'm merging illegally.
Car approaching low.
Nobody worry about this.
Side.
Tower look the other direction.
Low.
And we come out in second as Ruderman's pitting. So even though I ran long, I still got off with the lead. That is how I like to do it.
Clear low.
Still almost pushed the thing into the wall on cold tires. All right, Dave Blaney, which lane you going to take? You didn't commit. And we're looking to set the fastest lap right here, knock Kenseth off of that pedestal. There it is.
Buddy. That one's in the book. Okay, let's use that clean air. Keep digging.
All right, so right now you can pencil in Robby Gordon, Matt Kenseth as early championship favorites. That's the verdict at this point. And now, since the good has worn off these tires, I begin the clutch and coasting. Because I'm actually not good to make it on fuel, but I never am with the one-stop strategy unless you save some. And it's not that hard to save when you're out by yourself with a 6-second advantage. And meanwhile, I think everybody else is going to actually have to save more, because most people went for the short pit. I actually ran long. There's Casey Mears, the chaser, setting fourth in points. I just ran over a crap ton of debris. This race might not be too good for Casey's championship hopes.
Way back. Put it on the left.
There's still cars pitting. Not really sure what strategy that's a part of, because I thought everybody had already cycled. If not, I feel bad for the poor saps that ran long and still didn't get the lead at any point. Yeah, this is when the race definitely gets boring for the viewer. And also, it's going to become even more rambling. Unless we start getting cautions. But right now, the field is very comfortably spread out, which for me is actually a good thing. But to continue what I was saying earlier, you might enjoy this. I was talking about, how much I suck at single-seater racing. Single-seater racing has been like less than 3 years of any experience at all with them, other than, dabbling with like F1 2012 and stuff like that years ago. But, it's not like I played that for long enough to really learn anything from it. But watching me race a single-seater is much like watching Jimmy Johnson wreck an Indy car on a road course. And even funnier enough, it's physically impossible for me to race competently in F1 and talk at the same time. It's like spit your gum out. You got to pick one. So that's why I'm not doing like an F1 playthrough, at least not in this style. I might do one later with commentary recorded afterwards, because like I'm playing the game as I'm recording me right now, obviously. But I couldn't do that with F1. It'd either just be you're watching some guy play the game, or I'd have to narrate afterwards, because I physically can't speak when I'm that entranced in what I'm doing. And it's mainly because of all the actions required to race an F1 car are completely alien to me after as many years as I've got with the stock car type feel, the big lumbering high horsepower race car with limited tire grip. Yeah, none of that translates to an F1 car whatsoever, like absolutely none of it. So while I'm, running through my brain millions of calculations a second, I can't really add on top of that comedic commentary to suit what's happening. Ooh, yeah. A little bit of wall contact for the road. There's Danica again.
Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
Just going to lift early. On that Reddick line. Yeah, that was actually a really solid corner. And you see all that highline momentum right there. Yeah, we still got cars on pit road. Really don't know why. I see no clear reason to be pitting unless you just ran like 37 some laps on your original run without pitting for no reason. Because none of these people ever cycled to the lead, so really that would have been a strategy all for naught. unless they're just going for a two-stopper, but that ain't going to work, especially with me not pitting again, because I'm not going to unless we get a caution. And if we get a caution, it's going to trap them laps down, so I think it's just the nature of NASCAR The Game 2013 AI. Nothing too wacky has happened overall in this race, so it had to throw something at us. That was a full-on crossover. That was actually extremely cool.
Doing great. Nice and steady. Second place is way back.
Well, we're at least getting to put a bunch of cars a lap down. I got a 10-second advantage above Matt Kenseth.
Go to the low side.
Man,
Clear left side.
I hadn't really realized how much time I was putting on him, but I'm not running this car hard. In fact, I'm saving gas as I'm running this.
To the pit.
Because, I'm clutching and coasting. I'm letting the car just roll through the center of the corner. As you can tell, my right front tire is blue. It's practically cold because I'm putting very little input into it to try to preserve that tire because the air pressures are rather low. So it'll wear that tire out quick, and that was threading a needle that I didn't even realize it was as close as it was. Just lucky Juan wasn't any closer on my left rear. Otherwise, I would have gone for some loops in the grass down there. Is Travis Kvapil really trying to run me off the racetrack there? Or was he just undecided on what lane to choose?
Car in front's heading to the pit.
We got more cars pitting. I really don't know why. And it's a lot of them.
Clear down low.
That is really stupid. Imagine if
Always
Kenseth
touchy out
pits
here today.
and we just win this race by like 2 laps. Because, we only have like, 10 laps to go? As long as I keep babying the right front tire and I keep saving as much fuel as I am, there's no concerns. Yep, more people pitting. Huge crossover on Bobby Labonte.
On the outside.
Back up to the outside on Ruderman. That's how much momentum I was
Side's
carrying.
clear. Car in front's heading to the pit.
Another car pitting. Don't know who it is yet. Other than car in front, but that's probably a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Don't wreck.
3 wide, 2 inside.
Oh, wow. That closed up on Tony really fast there.
Whatever you're doing, you just keep doing it.
Well, either Jimmy Johnson took second or Matt Kenseth pitted. Not quite sure which. Yeah, I think absolutely everybody's going for a 2-stopper. I don't get it. I'm just going to just baby this car from this point out. I mean, I was already going kind of, slower than normal, but I can just really, really back the pace down. Yep, Truex just pitted. I have no good explanation for what you're witnessing right now. My question is, are the AIs really programmed to be this conservative on their strategy? Because if so, that's really quite stupid. There's Johnson right there. But yeah, why would you program them to be this conservative
Low side's
on their
clear.
strategy? No one's
We
even
can
going
do
to try
this
and chance it.
all day.
And as you can tell, we already got a 1-lap advantage. Just going to let Truex by me right here.
Clear left side.
No reason to race him. I mean, that's him getting back to 1 lap down, not getting back on the lead lap. He was 2. Now he's 1 lap behind us.
Car inside.
All right, Marcos, pass me or don't.
On that gauge.
Don't race with the leader.
2 to go.
All right, 2 laps to go. The right front tire's worrying me. But as long as I just keep babying it, I don't think we'll have any issues.
Car inside you. Set him up. That's it.
Marcos, pass me or don't.
You're good high.
Go on by.
Okay, let's use that clean air. Keep digging. Clear on the left.
He didn't go on by. White flag. We have a 1-lap advantage above Kenseth. Everyone was too stupid to try to chance their strategy.
Car 3 back.
I mean, obviously I'm low on gas and the right front's about to blow, but that's how you win races.
Car closing on the inside. inside. Your tires are gone, man. We need to get in here and get some new ones. We're on the inside.
I could not have played the strategy any better, because that right front I don't think is going to make another lap, but I don't need it. Winning at Kansas.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Whatever. I don't know why everybody pitted. They should have been fine to make it on gas. That's another win. And it was probably the quickest of the season. There we go.
You're the man.
There we go. We got to do a full donut at least. Hard to do that against gravity.
Man.
Polish victory lap. And there we go. We're going to comfortably make the full lap. Now we got to figure out how to get this thing to catch on fire. Full impact.
Way to go.
It was enough to, I think, damage the eardrums, but not enough to damage the front end. All right, once again, we got to hit something solid. I don't know where they keep this sort of thing. Just missed it. Here we go, through the trial again. I over-rotated, blew a tire.
Way to go.
Got that accomplished at the very least. Man, it is surprisingly hard to wreck violently at Kansas. Anthony Alfredo would disagree with me, but I can't figure out how to do it. There we go.
Man, great job today.
Finally did it. Lights out. Once again, that right there is a winner. Coming out of the cloud of smoke. That's more smoke than normal, by the way.
What can I say? You're a winner. Keep it up, champ.
The strategy blows my mind, the fact that the whole field decided to go for a two-stop race. I would have thought at least one of them would be able to stay out and make it all the way, but I was the only one. Granted, my right front tire was going to blow, but that's a custom setup that I did. That's the problem with that right front. You know, nobody else would have been in that position, so that's just a classic NASCAR The Game 2013 AI moment. But Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, second and third. The top three right here might be the top three in the championship standings at the end of Homestead. Martin Truex Jr. fourth. I had not realized that was Marcos running in fifth. 2 laps down, granted, because I beat him, to the line, but I thought he was like battling me as a 4-lap down 31st place car. 5th position for Marcos. That's a great run, and we obviously put everybody 1 lap down, but all the way up to 5th was down 2 laps. Then Dennison 6th, Keselowski 7th, Casey Kane 8th, Boyer 9th, Trevor Bayne rounds out the top 10, Travis 14th. We got Kyle Busch with a half-decent finish, David Reagan 19th, and dead last was David Gilliland. He finished 4 laps down. Very big number. Well, that was a very simple race. We pretty much beat the crap out of the field in under 30 minutes and lapped them almost twice completely. 7th win in 8th race. Matt Kenseth still holds on to second in the point standings. 288 to my 347. Martin Truex Jr. sets third. Casey Mears 4th. That means the entire top 4 didn't deviate at all after Kansas. So is this, if we had a championship 4, would this be the championship 4? Something to think about. But Greg Biffle picks up 4 spots in the point standings, up to 5th. Dennis Hamlin up 4 to 6th position. Paul Menard drops down to 7th. JPM drops to 8th. Johnson moves his way up to 9th. He could be dangerous very late in the season if he gets consistency going. Ryan Newman drops down to 10th. Stenhouse drops to 11th. And Jeff Gordon picks his way back up into the chase grid. Carl Edwards now sets on the outside looking in. Travis Pastrana didn't move any. Kyle Busch now starting to get closer towards that chase grid. And David Reagan climbs way back up into contention for that wild card spot. As you can tell, last in points is still Travis Quapple by a pretty substantial margin, actually, behind David Gilliland. So that's the update in your last card championship as well. The Petty 43's down here in 37th. Mark Martin still hadn't gone anywhere in the points, and Tony Stewart, most of his failures are probably my fault because I've started to get into him over these last couple races, but he did not have a very good run at Kansas. Marcos, though, with his 5th place finish, 2 laps down, has now picked up 8 spots in the points up to 19th. That's a great improvement for Ambrose right there. And so that does it for race number 8, the NASCAR The Game 2013 Robby Gordon Season Mode. Hopefully you're enjoying watching this series as much as I am making it. We keep putting on a clinic, though. You know, except for Bristol, these races keep seeming to fall the way of Robby Gordon Motorsports. Although Kansas, we just put it on him. You know, we had the best car. I might have screwed up twice in the beginning. Like I said, you get at least 3 opportunities at the start of a race to be an idiot before you got to get your crap together by the finish to actually try to win. But yeah, next race is Richmond, which, unlike Martinsville and Bristol, isn't that unfair or easy. It's actually closer to the easier side than unfair, but if you get caught up in traffic, it can kind of be somewhere in between, actually towards the more normal side of the spectrum. So stay tuned for that. That's the next video of this series coming up. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've got a Patreon set up. You can go to our website for car sets and stuff. Soon I'll be releasing tracks for NR. You know, all that stuff currently is NR related. There might be other stuff on the website some point soon. Not totally sure right now. And I'll be seeing you next time. More Robby Gordon stuff coming up and other content as well.